Caesar.
Oh, hi there.
Hey, shh. Caesar, you want to go on a quest?
Yeah, maybe. Why are you whispering?
Shh. I just found out that this Duke was buried with loads of treasure.
Oh, treasure?
Yes, you want in on this?
Yeah, I need treasure.
Great. Let's get ready. Let's go.
Well, shouldn't we be bringing shovels?
No. There are zombies patrolling the outside of the cemetery.
Oh, well, zombies are no problem. They die really easy. They're slow.
Yeah, but then there's a bunch of skeletons all inside the cemetery.
Oh, skeletons are a little bit faster, but they still die easy.
Yeah, but then there's a Lich Lord inside the mausoleum where the Duke is buried.
A lich? Maybe we need a wizard. Hello and welcome to Caesar's Snack Sandwich. Today we're on Phantom taking a look at Tomb Finance. Now this is a sponsored video, so I will be getting a small payment to do this video. However, I do like it. It's not a super unrisky investment or choice you have. So take care when you do decide to take part in this if you do. I'm going to explain how it works, and then I'm going to show you a few of the buttons and so forth. But just be careful, okay? Make sure you understand what's going on. Read the docs. Go into ask some questions. The team is pretty good. And just make sure you understand what's going on, and I'll give you a few warnings as I go along and at the end and so forth. So let's swing over to a flowchart so I can explain to you the mechanics here. It's basically a basis fork. However, they've put some new features inside it that make it stand apart, and that's basically why I'm interested in covering this. So let's take a look at the flowchart. So here we go. Okay, so here we have our friend Dollar Bill, right? Dollar Bill has found himself in a situation where he has a little more risk tolerance. Perhaps, he's got some extra money, or perhaps, he's been bitten by a zombie and he needs a vaccination big time fast. So he's in a position where he wants to take a little more risk than usual, and he's got some money to take that risk with. So what does he do? He takes a look at this token. It's called the Tomb token. And the Tomb token is an algorithmic stablecoin. It's a stablecoin that is backed by nothing except adoption, which is kind of the similar thing to fiat. However, who would your grandfather accept Tomb tokens, or would your grandfather accept US dollars? So there's a bit of play here. This token's stability comes directly from adoption. So it's a risky investment to deal with this kind of stuff, because if the community decides not to support it anymore and they leave, then this can go to zero very easily. If a few of the whales that are currently inside these kinds of algorithmic stablecoin ecosystems decide to leave and dump all their tokens, it can go to zero. So this is our warning, okay? Be careful when you're doing this. So this token here is not pegged to the US dollar like usually. It's pegged to the Phantom token. So the Phantom token is the gas token of the Phantom Opera network. So they want these to be 1-to-1 usually. However, that doesn't always happen because of market conditions, right? So the Tomb token might be above peg, right? And might be below peg. Now, if the Tomb token happens at the current time to be above peg, what the system will do is it will print more Tomb tokens, supply more Tomb tokens to the market, so that there will be more Tomb tokens to sell and try to bring the price back down to 1-to-1 based on the Phantom token. So this is the idea of an algorithmic stablecoin. Print more so that people will sell them and bring the price back down to 1-to-1 to the peg that it's supposed to be pegged to. Now, if the Tomb token is below peg, they want to burn tokens, reduce the supply of tokens, so that the price of this will go up based on market trading and so forth. So let's go into how these two mechanisms come into play in this system. So anytime it's above peg, right, it's going to burn, or it's going to mint some tokens. The system will mint tokens and give the tokens to certain parties. So this happens every 6 hours, every epoch, right? So they mint up some tokens, right? And they will give 80% of those tokens to people who hold this token. Well, they have to stake this token, sorry. This is called a T-share token. It's kind of like the governance token of this entire system. So they mint up a bunch of tokens and they give them to these people. Now there are some time locks here. You can't just, it's not just going to come token. These people will have to lock their token for some time, and then these will come out and be unlocked after every epoch or something. I can't remember exactly what, but I will show you in the website. So people who stake this token will get 80% of these emissions, this new like flood of tokens. And these people will also be able to vote on things that happen in the DAO, which I will explain in a second. The 18% of it will go to this DAO. It's a Dow Fund, and it's basically controlled by these T-share token holders or stakers. So they will vote on how to do this. So this 18% will go in here, and at any time these people can make a proposal, they can talk about it, they can decide, and then they can vote to either sell when it's high. If this token is up, if the TOOM token is high and they have a bunch of TOOM tokens inside inside this wallet. Now this is a public wallet, you can go and check it. It's on the website, it's in the docs, you can check it out. So they might sell some high for maybe say FTM. They sell some high and they bring the price down a little bit, right? So now they're holding FTM and maybe some more TOOM tokens inside here as well. And then when it goes below peg, then they can also use these that FTM that they had sold earlier to buy and push the price back up again. Now, one of the rules of this Dow Fund is they're not allowed to use their tokens to invest in the system that is in play. They're not allowed to. They can invest in outside systems, third-party systems, but they cannot put their tokens into this system. So that's the one rule for this Dow Fund, okay? The other thing is 2% of these emissions will go to the dev team to run the day-to-day operations. They have to pay for servers, they have to pay their salaries, they're maintaining things, they're working, they need to buy food. So 2% of these emissions will go to these guys here. Now, let's talk about when it goes below peg. When we want to burn the tokens when they're below peg, but it just doesn't, the system doesn't just burn tokens because people are holding the tokens. So they can't burn them from your wallet. So what they do is they ask you, hey, you can take your TOOM tokens and you can turn them into TOOM bond tokens, T-bond tokens, 1-to-1. So if this is worth 60 cents or let's say 60% of one FTM, then you can still, 1-to-1, one of these for one of these T-bonds, right? And then you will have the T-bonds in your wallet. And the TOOM tokens you sent to here will be burned. So that will reduce the supply of these and hopefully have the ability to raise the price again. Now, why would you want to hold T-bond tokens is because you can redeem them later for more TOOM tokens. But where are they going to come from? They come from here. So when everybody burns their TOOM tokens and the Dow Fund buys low and brings the price back up, and maybe third parties come in and they buy some TOOM tokens and they raise the price back up. Once the price is back above, then these emissions, 65% will be taken out first and put into a treasury to cover the cost of these TOOM bond tokens, these T-bond tokens. So the treasury will be filled up with 65% of these emissions, and then once there's enough in here to cover all the circulating T-bond tokens, whether they're redeemed or not, then it will just sit there waiting for people to redeem them. So this guy here, he can watch it, and remember, it's 1-to-1 when you mint it. However, when you redeem it, it looks at the current value based on FTM. So if one TOOM token is worth 1.15 FTM, then you're going to get back 1.15 TOOM tokens for every one T-bond token. So it makes sense to hold it until the peg goes higher. That's this system, that's the idea, okay? Now there's one more mechanic that they've added to this system that is interesting, and that is what they're calling the gatekeeper. Now let's say he holds TOOM tokens and he wants to take the TOOM tokens to SpookySwap and sell them. So like maybe he's staked one of these, like this is basically what I was doing, staked one of these and then he's just taking these TOOM tokens every day to SpookySwap to sell them, right? there's a gatekeeper who's going to tax you when you try to take your TOOM tokens to the market and sell them. He's going to tax you. So let's swing over to the chart here. So here is the chart. You can take a look at it. It's on the website. Just look for the gatekeeper system. I'm not going to go through all the numbers, but as you can see, as the price goes down, as the price of TOOM token in reference to FTM goes down in value, so it's below peg, they're going to tax you every transaction. Every time you sell the TOOM token, you're going to get taxed. Now, when it's above, you just lose 1%. When it's like below by 5%, you're going to lose 20%. So this is huge amount of taxation for people who are dumping the token below peg. And even at, almost peg, it's quite high, 15% at like 1.1. So they really don't want people to dump the price when it's down in this range, because 15% and 14%, 9. So as you can see, they want you to dump when it's high, but as it gets closer and closer, they're asking you, don't dump. The gatekeeper's going to slow you down. Now they say that this is a temporary system, then they will turn it off eventually, but it's for the DAO to decide. Now, where does this taxation go? It goes into this Dow Fund here, and the Dow Fund can use this taxation to do what they need to do. Now, this is why when you go to SpookySwap and you try to swap TOOM tokens, you're going to be met with the message that you need to increase slippage quite a bit. And this is where you can check to see, if it's currently at this price, I need to set my slippage to around 10 to 12%. So anyways, let's swing over to the website. I'm going to show you a few quick buttons, like where are some of these things that I've talked about. Okay, so here we are on the website, and the landing page basically just tells you the 3 tokens and what are the current values of these tokens. It tells you the 2 LPs if you decide you want to provide liquidity on SpookySwap, or the T-share liquidity on SpookySwap. You can gain some money. So if you go to Cemetery, here are the opportunities that are currently open right here. These are, if you were to supply liquidity to SpookySwap, you could bring your SpookySwap LP tokens here, and let's go into one of them. So as you can see, if I were to supply TOOM FTM and I'm providing liquidity so that people can swap and trade, they're going to reward me with T-share tokens equal to 2% per day, which is quite high. So if you want to provide liquidity and get this 2% per day in T-share tokens, this is an option that you can consider doing. So this is the Cemetery. You can, check it out and see if you would want to do this and farm yourself some T-share tokens instead of buying them. Over to the Masonry. The Masonry is where you're going to lock your T-share tokens so you can get the emissions of the TOOM token. So as you can see, I have locked one. I locked one quite a long time ago. And as you can see, it's currently locked for 8 more hours. And I cannot pull it out until 8 hours is done. And I could claim right now, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to hold them for a little while and let it burn. Now, when I entered this pool, when I entered this position, I considered this a cost of entry. This is not money I'm expecting to get back. It could go to zero very quickly, and it could. These protocols have the potential to crash very quickly. So do not buy, more money here. Do not buy T-shares here that you're not comfortable losing. That's my mentality. That's the way I think about it. I bought this one T-share token a little while ago, and it's gone down quite a bit in value. But I'm okay with it. I'm considering this a cost of emission to play with this protocol. However, right now, the current APR is 1,500%, which is pretty damn good, right? So I'm getting, tokens every day here that I can do with as I please. In the past, I was selling them, but that was before I knew about the gatekeeper system. I didn't do my due diligence. I assumed I knew this, but now I'm going to reconsider my strategy on what to do with these TOOM tokens as fit. So the pit is where you will try to purchase your T-bond tokens if the TOOM token is below peg. As you can see, there's no way for me to purchase now because TOOM is above peg. And this is also where you will redeem your TOOM T-bond tokens back to TOOM tokens. So anyways, this is where you would do that. Regulations basically talks, it's just a chart. It takes a little bit long to load for me. It's basically a chart that shows you all the epochs, what happened each epoch. And then you can head over to the docs as well. The docs is quite good. It's very clear. It's very simple to understand. They did a good job on the docs, in my opinion. So that pretty much covers Tomb Finance. If you have any questions, I suggest you go check out their Telegram, check out their Discord, ask them questions. They are pretty helpful. They are pretty good in this sense. So that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.